We're standing here in the shadow of the I-10 bridge, which I've gone over several times myself in the past. And it's a perfect example of how we've neglected as a nation to invest in the future of our economy and the future of our people. You know, when the bridge was built in 1952, it was built to, there's nothing there. It was built to make sure that we, in fact, are able to, it was going to last for 50 years. That was 20 years ago. It was built for 50 years. The I-10 bridge was built to handle daily traffic load of 37,000 crossings. Well, but today, every day, more than 80,000 cars and trucks cross over that bridge. And it doesn't have the modern safety features that bridges need to have now. You know, 6 lanes of interstate narrow into 4 lanes of a bridge. That's a recipe for disaster. And that's what I'm sure you don't need to tell the drivers around Lake Charles, that it means traffic bottlenecks and delays. And at the last inspection, this bridge was categorized as in poor condition. And after decades of politicians studying it and talking about it, Governor Edwards is the one finally moving forward with a project to actually replace the bridge. One with 6 lanes, new interchanges, that's safer, reduces congestion. And it shouldn't be this hard to take so long to fix a bridge that's this important. It makes no sense. But the truth is, across the country, we have failed. We have failed to properly invest in infrastructure for half a century. Last 4 years, how many times did you say this is going to be infrastructure week? Well, I got so tired of hearing infrastructure week, nothing happened. Nothing has happened. And across America, there are more than 45,000 bridges that are structurally deficient. Structurally deficient. Every day, Americans cross these bridges 178 million times, and they are structurally deficient. We've seen what happens when they deteriorate. Remember a few years ago, 2 counties over in Mississippi had to shut down more than 60 bridges that were in poor condition. 60 bridges. People in those communities were rerouted from 40 to 50 miles, detours, with half-hour to hour delays. One of the areas when I was doing this with our last major plan, when Barack was president, was in Pennsylvania. There was a large shopping center, a school, and the rest, and it was just across a creek, as we say, up in that way. And the bridge across it was deficient. But there was a fire station just in eyesight from here to the others to the parking lot. But guess what? When there was a burn, when there was a fire, it took them, they had to go up 9 miles to find the bridge, come back, and by that time, a hell of a lot of damage was done. Well, there are bridges all over America, big and small, like that. A few years ago, as I said, we found ourselves in a position where it's not just more inconvenient, and in the situation in Mississippi, it is also a matter of life and death, keeping firefighters, paramedics from getting people the help they need, cutting off hurricane evacuation routes. In addition, more than 1 in 5 miles of our highways in the United States of America, major roads in America, are in poor condition. 1 in 5 miles. That's more than a safety hazard. That is a drain on our economy. Typical American pays, I know this is going to sound wonky, but it's real and it affects ordinary Americans' lives like the neighborhoods I come from. Typical American pays a hidden tax of more than $1,000 a year in the time it wasted and the fuel wasted due to traffic congestion because of the nature of our infrastructure. We rank 8th in the world in terms of our infrastructure. We used to be the leader in the world. All told, these delays cost our country, according to economists, an estimated $160 billion a year in waste, extra fuel, extra time, and like. And that's due to the congestion, and folks in Louisiana know there are much greater threats than just congestion. When the road or the bridge is washed out, or when it can't stand up to a hurricane, people can't get to their jobs, they can't get to their schools, families can't get to hospitals safely. This is about creating jobs and also saving lives. You know, my mother used to have an expression, Gov. She'd say, out of everything bad, Joey, something good will come if you look hard enough for it. Well, one of the things that this crisis, in terms of the health crisis of COVID, has shown us is that we have to build back better in a whole series of ways. It's about building a strong foundation for the American people.